Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, 20-year-old student allegedly took a drunk female home and raped her. 20-year-old Orlando Campbell, a student of Moco Clarendon, has been charged with rape and indecent assault following an incident at a Bushy Park in the parish on Tuesday, August 6. Reports from the Mapen police are that on the dates mentioned above, the now complainant was invited on a trip by a friend and met Campbell, a friend of the friend who invited her on the trip, on the excursion. Upon returning from the trip, she and the now accused man was reportedly both consuming alcohol, and she became drunk. She allegedly woke up at home sometime later to find Campbell assaulting her. She later reported the incident to the police, and he was subsequently brought in by his lawyer and was charged on Wednesday, August 21. His court date is being finalized. PE teacher freed of charges of sexually assaulting 14-year-old student. A physical education teacher at a St. Catherine High School who was accused of sexually touching and kissing a 14-year-old student has been acquitted of indecent assault and sexual touching. The 27-year-old physical education teacher was freed of the charges on Tuesday after the judge in the St. Catherine Parish Court upheld a no-case submission by his lawyers. Allegations were that on January 31, he lured the complainant from her class to the physical education department, where he proceeded to indecently assault her without her consent. He was arrested and charged on March 1, but when he appeared before the court, he firmly denied the allegations. During the trial, the witnesses who gave evidence for the prosecution were discredited after several inconsistencies and discrepancies were unearthed from their evidence. The trial judge subsequently agreed with the attorneys representing the accused teacher that based on the numerous material inconsistencies and the discrepancies presented in the evidence, the accused man could not be found guilty of the charges and upheld their no-case submission. The complainant was among the witnesses who gave questionable evidence. During her testimony, she gave conflicting evidence on where on her body the accused had touched her. She also told the court that she was taken from her class to the PE department when the evidence was that she went to the department voluntarily. The evidence presented during the trial also indicated that the complainant would regularly visit the teacher's office for frivolous reasons, which he had reprimanded her about, along with certain compliments that she had directed at him. Attorneys at law Teresha Grant and Kemar Robinson represented the teacher. Security Minister defends a $25 million fund for information on Clarendon mass shooting. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang has sought to put to rest concerns about the $25 million fund for information leading to the arrest and the charge of those involved in the gun attack in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon. Dr. Chang is seeking to assure that the funds will not result in a cut in expenditure to other areas of his ministry. Senior crime investigator and the security expert Robert Finzi Smith has questioned the government's response and suggested that the money could be better spent on developing the community and acquiring resources for the JCF. But defending the government's initiative, Dr. Chang said the potential value of the information to be garnered cannot be diminished. Furthermore, it will not cause a reduction of other crime-fighting activities.
We are not reducing any of our activities to spend this $25 million. We are committed to providing the resources to the police and to give them the support required to find and prosecute the criminals who are perpetrating this kind of horrendous crime and, murders across society. But $25 million is a small amount in that. Maybe we can buy one good police unit, because the police unit comes with special equipment that make them a bit more costly, and we are going to buy all the cars we intend to buy. We need cameras for the crime scene managers and the crime, and we're going to buy more cameras. We are not allowing this to interrupt any of our expenditure, and we think it's a worthwhile expenditure because in the communities where they are located, a lot of the information they collected almost immediately after the event. The reward came out 48 hours later. And investigators will tell you the information they collect in the first 48 hours is about the best to get. So later on, as we pursue investigation, find some of the perpetrators and killers, you'll find we begin to get more leads and other people will come forward. Bear in mind, one of the things that happens in this situation is that the more of the network you apprehend and detain, the more willing informants are willing to talk to the police. They still have to protect their identity, but you find that when the informants realize that the police is the one in charge, so to speak, have taken in a number of individuals, they are willing to speak to the police.
Corrections Union blames the government's indifference for crime issues behind the bars. Placing the blame squarely at the feet of the government, Jamaica Federation of Corrections Chairman Arlington Turner says correctional officers are not responsible for crimes hatched from behind the bars. Turner, who has been at the union's helm for 13 years, said a proposal was submitted to the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party administrations that would close the lid on information leaving prisons, but said it has been repeatedly shelved. We will not sit and take the blame for these assertions coming from the minister. More so our defense minister, who is the prime minister, Turner told the news in a sit-down at his office on Tuesday. The fact is, we as correctional officers don't believe that the government is really serious about treating with the issues within our correctional institutions. We can narrow it down to the issue as it relates to cell phones behind the bars, he added. He said the matter of how the devices get behind the bars for criminals to place or facilitate hits had been a long-standing concern. Turner observed that most of the island's 10 prisons and detention centers are located near communities, which facilitates the smuggling of items into the facilities without the knowledge of correctional officers. He said that packages are thrown over fences daily by residents of nearby communities and the visitors at the two maximum security facilities, Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in downtown Kingston and the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center in Spanish Town. He said that it is the vigilance of correctional officers that prevents many packages of contraband from reaching the hands of inmates, adding that the limited use of closed-circuit television cameras hampers effective monitoring of the facility's perimeters and the surrounding areas. The eyes of our officers are what prevent what comes in from outside. Every single day, we have that to contend with, Turner said. He said that currently, houses are adjoining the walls at Tower Street. The government is not serious about our prisons. In 2017, we traveled overseas to the United States to a conference. We came back from Boston. There were issues as it relates to phones, but what we came back with was how these phones can be made useless to the prisoners. We have forwarded this documentation to the Ministry of National Security. We have not heard anything since, Turner disclosed. Just over a week ago, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey told a journalist that the friends turned rivals, both overseas and locally, contacted prisoners to facilitate the August 11 massacre of 8 people and the injuring of at least 10 in Cherry Tree Lane 4 parts in Clarendon. Immediately, fingers were pointed at the Department of Correctional Services as a conduit for organized crime. Brigadier Roger Mason, the head of the DCS, subsequently said it is difficult to plug the holes in correctional facilities while acknowledging that some of his subordinates are complicit in smuggling contraband or looking the other way. Turner said if correctional officers are facilitating illegal activities behind the bars, they are in the minority. He said that the introduction of cell phone jammers proved to be problematic because they affected the landing of aircraft at the nearby Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston. They also affected nearby communities. We came back with a documentation to say you can jam these phones within the radius of the prisons so you don't have to worry about the outside. The ministry did not act on it. So we are saying clearly as correctional officers that governments across the board are not serious about our prisons, he said. We'll be sitting here and talking about this issue of cell phones in our prisons next year and the next 10 years from now. They are doing absolutely nothing, said Turner. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.